Hello, everybody. This is DC. Welcome to the Dethrok podcast. This is our second episode. Um, I am here today with my special guest, RK, from the band Blasphemous out of Philadelphia. Hey, R, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, DC? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Same shit, different day. That applies to everybody. So, you guys have a new album coming out. What's going on with it?
Well, like I said, we got a new album coming out on the 25th called "To Lay Siege and Conquer" on Adirondack Black Mass. 7 tracks of pretty much what you see is what you get from us. Fast, melodic, some blasts. It's all in all, we've been having a great time with this album. So
I'm excited to see where it takes you guys because I've been a fan of yours, for a good, 10, 12 years now, since we've crossed paths earlier in the 2000s.
yeah.
And I'm glad to see the progression. You have a solid lineup now. You want to tell me about them?
Well, like I said, when we reformed the band back in 2016. Like I said, I took a couple years away from Blasphemous. We had a lot of lineup changes beforehand, so unfortunately, I decided to just take a breather, take a step back, do a couple different things, and then when we reformed in 2016, the lineup that was there at 2016 has pretty much been constant. I mean, we had one change and that was it, and that was Dan Lee joining the band on bass, and he joined back in right after COVID in 2020.
They, they all add so much to it. Um, the guitar work is phenomenal on this new recording. Um, Black metal, for me, it sort of takes a back seat. I listen to a lot of black metal, but what I like is originality in music, and you guys have a lot of originality. Every song sounds different. It's absolutely a different, feel from the last one. You have some slow songs, you have some fast songs. I enjoy it fully, and that's saying something in this day and age to get something from track one to track, 10, 9, 10, whatever, and it's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we tried to refine each song, try to make it not sound like every other song that we've done, but kind of stay with in our wheelhouse.
Did you try to experiment any further than what you did on your previous album or the EP or the one before that?
I don't think we really did too much experimenting too much. I mean, we kind of not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's pretty much meat and potatoes. And like I said, I mean, just try to stay true to ourselves.
Have you did you feel like you started off as a death metal band and you're more into the black metal genre?
No, not so much. I mean, I think when we started it, like we tried to shoot for the black metal more. I think later, like we trying to lean more death metal more than anything.
A lot of people have described your sound on your previous album to Morbid Angel, some Deicide in there, but you have this black metal tinge to you. It's in there, and I appreciate it because, like I said, if you listen to it and you feel as though it's a black metal album, it's absolutely original in that whole you know realm. And I could tell the death metal influence totally. Not just that I've heard you guys a long time before. If I listened to this album, straight away without knowing anything about you guys, I would say, yeah, there's a lot of death metal in there, but there's a lot of black metal too. So is that a concisive effort between everybody? Everybody's influences coming as a whole, or is there certain people that write the music?
Well, most of the music is written by our guitar players, Hal and Steve. Sometimes they'll collaborate together, like exchange riffs together online or whatever. Especially when we were writing, we start the start of this album was being written during COVID, so we couldn't like really fully get together. But there was like riffs being traded back and forth, and kind of collaborated a little bit there. And then when we all got finally got together in the same room, it's like we hammer it all out, uh, we voice any objections that we may have, maybe need to change something here or there. And like I said, the riffs are mainly Hal or Steve or combination of both. And then I'll mostly chime in on the lyrics, and Hal will kind of tweak them a little bit on his end. He's actually on this album. Hal has actually written some lyrics too, so it kind of takes a load off of me.
Is that something that you had to like go over in your mind whether you wanted to do that or not, or was that something you were like, oh yeah, please help me, you know?
I mean, it just kind of came kind of naturally. Like Hal said, would say he has an idea and he has the lyrics for it too. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't have to stress over it too much. And like I said, I kind of like that.
Are they strictly all evil? Is there anything that goes aside from evil or religious type lyrical
I, I mean,
themes?
there's. It's like not all like evil Christ bashing. Like I said, Glenn Benton's done that for 35 years. 35 years of Christ bashing. And up up for him for being able to do that. And but like I said, we tend to vary our lyrics a little bit. Not just all 100% evil, antichrist. There's other things going on. Some like more dark lyrics, I should say.
It seems to me when I try to write lyrics, I get blocked. I'm totally a bad lyric writer, and it's just I always have to ask, you know, is when you go into that realm writing lyrics, do you consciously feel as though you're gonna push the boundaries? Is there a line you feel that you don't want to cross, and is that intentional beforehand? Do you?
Nah, I'm just writing from what I feel and what's inside me. I mean, I don't like go and like start writing lyrics and be like, oh, I got to change this because too it's not dark enough or whatever, or not evil enough. I just got to write from the heart, and that's all I can really do.
Do you use rhymes?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's like sometimes it's got to rhyme and just kind of flow pretty good, but you don't want to over rhyme either.
As a vocalist, how do you feel toward bands that sort of uh, growl and grunt the emphasis on whatever syllables they're using before, and then they write to it? Is that's not something you guys practice, or it's just
No,
how do you write? How do you go about writing them initially when you feel like fitting them in with the music?
well, I mean, I might have some ideas, like maybe like a title or a line pops in my head, and kind of work around that somewhat. And then, like I said, I mean, with the lyrics on, like I said, this album, like I said, Hal's taking a bigger step and like kind of like tweaking what I'm saying a little bit. Like he's like, you'll put this here, and maybe put the emphasis on this, and work out the pattern. And that's something we kind of collaborate on together.
Good for you, because there's a lot of times people get a big ego about these are my lyrics. You're not touching them. You're not doing anything like that. When really you need a little help from people sometimes. Uh, and like I said, that's good. Good on you for not being like that, closed minded, or no, that's not how I feel. I'm not changing that. You actually keep an open mind toward it, and good on you. Tell me
Yeah, I mean,
about.
like going back, like in the old days of Blasphemous, yeah, I would be kind of like, this is what I'm doing. Nobody else was trying to step in either. So it was like I kind of had free reign on that shit.
That's awesome. Tell me about the artwork. Your artwork for this album is really, really awesome. As was the EP beforehand. You went white, lighter cover with that one, and this one's more of a dark color. Same artist. Who is
Same
he?
artist. Yeah, missing
I mean, I don't know if he did this one. I have the Maryland shirt on, but I'm not sure if it looks like his art or not.
I don't
I don't
think it
know.
is, but I'd have to go back and double check. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to double check that too. Just interesting, very interesting. And what do you guys have up now? You're gonna do some shows.
Yeah, right now we only got one show on the books right now in Philly on November 2nd with Antichrist Siege Machine and Entrail Asphyxiation. So we're gonna do that down at Kung Fu Necktie November 2nd. Um, as far as the rest of the year, we're kind of like gonna lay low. We got couple things we got going on personally that we're gonna do, and then like I said, once the new year hits, probably do some shows after that. You know.
Well, you guys are from Philadelphia, so I'm sure there's no lack of places to play or shows to play at.
Yeah.
Less, in fact, that it's true that you book shows down there as well. That's correct.
Yeah, we do. Under Death Sculpted Productions, we we're taking the rest of the year off for that too. Like I said, I mean, we got the Blasphemous release coming out, so we want to kind of focus the energy on that a little bit and a couple other things, and we're just re-energize ourselves too, you know, because it takes a lot out of you booking shows. You know, I'm not young anymore.
Neither are a lot of us,
Yeah,
but what can you say about the Philly scene down there? I mean, you've been booking quite a bunch. I mean, you there's a plethora of bands. You don't have
yeah.
there's no
There's
lack of
like no
bands.
shortage of bands down here. Like I said, the only thing there's a big shortage of is like good venues because like you have like a couple dive bars, you got Kung Fu Necktie, it's like you got, but there's like newer places like Bonks down in Port Richmond that's really starting to get some notice. So like I said, we did a show there this past Friday. It was really good too. So
Uh, there's a few places that closed and came back, like Ortlieb's.
yeah.
That place closed and came back. Do you think a place like the Troc will ever come back?
I'm hearing rumors that it is, you know, but it's also going to be down where right around the corner from where the Sixers' new arena is supposed to be. So I'm not sure how it would affect things positively or negatively as far as the Troc in the same neighborhood, but maybe the Sixers can toss some money to the Chinatown neighborhood and help get the Troc rebuilt.
It'll be awesome. I mean, it's a original classic building, and it needs to be preserved, if you ask me.
Yeah, it needs to be preserved. No bomb threats, you know.
No bomb threats, please.
Yes.
Back in the what was that, like 2013 or something like that?
Yeah,
That happened.
2012, 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, both of our bands played a show, and it was a bomb threat at the
Yeah.
truck, and we got to meet the FBI and
Yeah, we
Homeland
got to
Security.
be up close and personal. Some a little too up close, you know?
I felt like I met Dana Scully from the X Files. Did you not when you met the FBI lady? Did you meet the
Yeah.
lady?
Yeah,
I,
so
s- I still have her card, her business card around somewhere. Maybe one day I'll put that in the magazine. So let me think here. What what do you like to do besides being in a band? You a family man?
yeah, I mean, I got two kids. I mean, one's already off to college. The other one's going to be going to college next year. So it's like involved. Like I said, one kid plays in some bands and stuff. So he's been and relying on mom and dad to get them to practice. You know?
That's it's awesome to see that they're doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
My son's just about at that level. He's a really awesome drummer. It's a matter of him figuring out how to network with other kids and actually getting a car and driving. But this is
Yeah,
a
that's kind of the thing there.
we're both in the teenage years, you
Yeah.
know what we have to deal with. But I'm glad that he likes metal and he didn't like completely rebel against me and didn't you know completely go into a form of music that I completely dislike.
Yeah.
So
So it's like I do that, and then like other things I do on the side, like home brewing too. So that's a big. That was like my COVID hobby that I picked up.
that's that's awesome. Did you guys did some recording during the COVID?
Yeah, like I said, I mean we were like writing and stuff. We couldn't like get together to record during COVID, but like I said, part of this album was written during that period. I would say probably a good chunk of it actually.
And you do you feel that I mean, are some of these songs that you've written on this new album, are they all brand new? Did you have any that were sort of like something you were going to rework, maybe something off the last EP you didn't put on it?
Nah, I mean, like I said, we like when we did the last EP, we had like a good chunk of these songs written because it was like we're like we dealt with COVID. We wanted to remind people we were still around. So Eternal Misanthropy was a old song that we reworked and then put that out. Everything else, though, from the new album is all new. Just a lot of time put into it, a lot of time rehearsing. Um, of course, we had a couple issues like during that time where what our guitar player broke his wrist, and we had to hold off a little bit.
Well, that was only a couple of weeks, probably.
A couple months, more
Oh,
like a couple
really?
months.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah, and then he injured his elbow too, like on the opposite hand. So we were down probably a good chunk of time, but at least during that time, we were able to. The rest of us were able to get together a little bit.
And still, when that person isn't there and they come back, it's always so much better. Sort of
Uh,
elevates how you feel about things. You're like, yeah, I missed you. That sort of thing. Tell me about when you first your first memories of like rock and roll. Do you remember what your first rock band you heard was and how you heard it?
I mean, going back like in the time machine, I mean, I'm 49 now, so it's like probably the first like stuff that I really felt like energized about, like early MTV days, Def Leppard, Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, stuff like that, Maiden, Priest,
How'd you
and
get
Van
heavy?
Halen, and early Van Halen.
Oh my god, definitely. How did you progress into the heavier sounds?
I mean, that came like a few years later, you gotta dive your toes in, it's like, and then, like I said, after Maiden, Priest, it's like then you discover bands like Metallica, and it's like goes down the rabbit hole slowly but surely. And then
How,
like right around like 1990, I'd say get into different heavier stuff. Like, I mean, Faith No More kind of popped off around then too. So it's like you see dudes wearing Godflesh shirts and Napalm Death shirts and Faith No More video. I'm like, and then you dig in and go down even further.
do you remember what the first death metal band you heard was? What made you go like, yeah, that's the kind of music I want to play?
Obituary, Obituary. Like, I think it was like the cause of cause of death album and Incomplete was like really got me in there.
That's awesome. I always like the sort of progression of how you got into these sounds. I mean, the kids nowadays, I don't think they. It's hard for them to understand. These were brand new sounds, and how we were like, wow, holy shit, what
Yeah, it's like
is
how
that?
you it's like how you delve into it. Like I would read liner notes. Like I would go and look at the lyric sheet, the liner notes, and be like, see who the bands are thanking. We thank this band, we thank this band, and oh, you got to like, and you're digging that out, and so you're checking out these other bands. It's like it was a long process. It's not all at your fingertips like it is today.
It helped that there was record stores back then that were in your neighborhood, and you could be
Yeah,
like, okay, that band has these T-shirts on in this picture in this magazine. I want to know what that band is. So then
yeah,
you dig in, or you ask the guy behind the counter to order it for you. But it's at the press of a button anymore. It just doesn't
yeah.
have the excitement as it did once.
Yeah, because I would go down, like take the bus or take the subway down into Philly, and go to South Street, and there was a place called Rock and Roll Plus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Yep,
that from back in the day,
sure am.
but yeah, but that was like a hotbed of like good shit to find. A lot of imports and stuff like that. I mean, now the crazy thing was Tower Records right across the street there too. So it's like You had like everything there.
I miss those days. I mean, you can look out and find search out your record stores, and they're still putting out a lot of vinyl. Are you a vinyl
Yeah.
collector?
Yeah, I am a little bit, you know. I mean, it's like kind of tough to get time to sit down and listen, you know.
They're kind of it's a little expensive sometimes when you want the one that you really want. Like this Guar album behind me cost me about $50,
Oh, damn.
which, well, some people are like, "Oh my God, that's cheap," but I'm on a budget. But I had to get that one. I could not get that album. Um, Talk to me about the Phillies. What do you think their chances are?
I mean, that's tough to say. I mean, like they struggled down the stretch, but it's like
Mm,
they had a great start, you know. I think Suarez is probably injured or something, or hiding some injury because his performance, like the last half of the season, was not good.
we're down what our fourth starter. So
Yeah. So, I mean, you got three good starters, so it's like I think the first round. I'm not sure if the first round's just like 5 games or 7, but like I said, as long as you get a good head start there, it should be fine. You know.
yeah, do you think they're better than the '93 team?
I think they're better like talent wise, but like as far as like character and clubhouse, like the togetherness was a lot better in '93, I would say.
Well, there's never going to be a team like that again. But I always worry because being a Phillies fan, we could lose on the last pitch of the fucking game, and
Yep.
we've been there. We've been heartbroken and crushed before, and I'm hoping that they don't do that. I have a good feeling about this team, but the Dodgers look pretty tough. I mean,
We had the Dodgers number this year, though.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Mets we got to get by.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of worry about them, you know, but hopefully the Brewers take care of business.
Yeah, that game's on tonight, I believe, or tomorrow. I think.
Yeah, I think it's tonight. So,
Is it tonight? All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ron, for having me on here. This is our
oh, thanks
second
for
trip.
having me
This is
on, you
our
know?
this is our second try. This time it all went through.
Yeah,
'Cause
let's hope so. You know, no
because I,
major glitches in
I
post production.
paid I paid for it, so it better go through. Damn
There
it.
we go.
Yeah, I paid for it. All right. Thank you very much, Ron. Everybody go out and see Ron. Tell us when you're playing again one more time.
Once again, we're playing a Kung Fu Necktie Saturday, November 2nd with Antichrist Siege Machine, Entrails, Asphyxiation, and Blasphemous. We're probably going to try to do the whole album front to back.
Awesome. Awesome. And the album comes out on October 25th, correct?
Yeah, October 25th, Adirondack Black Mass. We just dropped a lyric video today for Son of the Forsaken. So you go to Adirondack Black Mass Instagram. There's a link, I think, a link on there to the YouTube channel that they have, and it's a lyric video. So yeah, it's AI generated, but I'm not the one that directed it, so it's like, um, it's all right, you know.
That's the second single. Is it? That's the second
That's
one,
no,
right?
Son of the Forsaken's the first single, and then
Okay.
Martyr Complex second single. But the video, like I said, we just finally got. We were supposed to have it like earlier in September, but things happen, you know.
Yeah. All right, Ron. Well, thank you very, very much for being on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right.
Also, we're going to be doing a beer release with
Oh, yeah,
Attic
that's
Brewing.
right.
Yeah, we just brewed it yesterday, so should be ready just in time for the album. So
Is there a name for it? Is it going to be?
it's going to be called Dead and Still. It's off of one of the songs that's on the album.
That's a great song. I was going to ask you about that song. That's the slower one, correct?
Yeah.
I do like that one a lot. All right, everybody, pick that up on October 25th. Thank you very much for watching. This is DC saying goodbye from the Dethrok Magazine podcast. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thank you, DC.